still waking up, so I know my face is still puffy because I just woke up. So, in case anybody's concerned, oh my god, are you crying? No, no, I literally just woke up. My face is always puffy when I first wake up because I have bad morning allergies. So, just took my Allegra. So, hopefully by the time the video ends, that'll have calmed down. So, anyways, you may have noticed my kitty ears, my favorite kitty ears. That has to do with the topic of today's video, which I meant to film yesterday. And as we see, I fell asleep in yesterday's clothes. Shh. But anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter whether it lands on Thursday or Friday, since I could do either Throwback Thursday or Flashback Friday. It really doesn't matter, since I just title these Remembering Forgotten Memories videos anyway, but that's the gist of it. So, as you may have surmised, the topic of today is outdoor kitties, and that's why I'm wearing my kitty ears. So, there have been lots of outdoor cats where I grew up. Well, I technically still live where I grew up, just in a different house. Same piece of land, just one end to the other, so it's weird. But, house we grew up in, almost every year consistently, there was always this cat that had babies, like, every single year. And you know me, I love cats. Probably because I grew up with cats and not a dog. Now I have a dog, so now I adore dogs too. I'm sure if I had a dog as a little kid, I would have probably grown up being a dog person, but since I grew up with kitties, I grew up to be a cat person who now is also a dog person. I think I'm just an animal person. But anyway, I mean, we had our indoor cats, we had Kiwi and Claus, and then later on I had McCartney, but no. This is about the outdoor kitties that, I mean, they weren't necessarily specifically mine, but they lived on our property and were always around, so I kind of considered them mine in a weird way. So yeah, there was this one cat. Every single year always had babies, so I called her Mama Cat, which I think I probably picked up that name off of my aunt because she had two cats, one named Cougar, one named Mama Cat. So I think I just picked up Mama Cat because she had a cat named Mama Cat. But the funny thing is, I don't think that those cats were mother and son. I think that was just what she named them because they happen to be the same color. But regardless, so this first one is actually, for a long time I thought it was my earliest memory, but then I remember, no, there's actually one little blip of one that I think was earlier than this, so it's one of my earliest memories. But my dad used to, like, work on cars out in the garage all the dang time, usually on his Jag, which was cool, but, on this one, and I used to, like, follow him out there just because it was something to do. At this point, I must have been, like, no older than 2 or 3. And yes, I'm one of those rare people who actually has memories that legit do go back to 2 and 3 years old. I know, some people don't remember anything before 4 or 5. I'm like, I can't imagine that. I have a ton of memories from earlier than that, but that's just me. But, anyways, so I used to, like, follow him out there all the time, like, hand him tools and stuff. Sometimes I'd just watch. Sometimes I'd run off and play with the tools, you know, I mean, you do as you do as a toddler. Didn't really get into any trouble in there or anything, just interesting. But so on this day, this cat had apparently climbed into the Jag, not like in the engine or anything, no. It was just like it got in the window and decided to have babies on the floor of his Jaguar. Which is kind of ironic since the Jaguar is technically a kind of a cat, is it not? Yeah, it is. So, obviously he wasn't too thrilled that the interior was now all jacked up because of that. I think he ended up fixing it, but regardless, having grown up on a ranch himself, he went and got a towel and put it down for the kitties. He didn't make them, like, get up and leave. He let them stay there. Mama Cat and her babies. And he's like, hey, Jenny, come here. And he held me up so I could look in the window, and kitties! I, like, screamed it, which was probably not the greatest idea right in that moment. He's like, shh. Just calm down. I'll let you sit with them, but you have to calm down. So then he's just like, once he shushed me enough, I'm like, oh, okay. He, like, opened the door really carefully. And they weren't on the seat, they were on the floor. And I was a teeny little thing. I mean, just for reference, there's a picture of me at 12 that I was down like on the playground at the community center, and I asked my youngest sister how old she thought I was in that picture. She's like, I don't know, about 4. Yeah, I was 12, so that's how undersized I've always been. So, as a toddler, there was no danger of my feet going anywhere near those cats, so don't worry. But he went ahead, sat me on the seat, and said I could look at him. So I did, and I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, oh, they're so cute. Just, as you do. At this point, for some reason, I don't know what relevance this has other than I can remember it. I don't know if this is the actual name of the tool or not, but I think it's like... No, I don't know the name of it. It's like a bulb wrench or a ball wrench. It basically has like this big acrylic like ball thing on one end, and I think it's like some type of a wrench at the other. And like you can turn it around, it makes this really cool sound. Like to this day, I actually like that sound. Like, I'll be honest, I still go down in my dad's garage and I grab that thing sometimes, just play with it, just because I still like the sound of it. But I don't know what you do with the thing. I just know I like the sound of it. So anyway, that probably sounds so stupid, but I'm sure it's one of my little autistic quirks. But so regardless, I'm sitting there. I'm playing with this thing, making the cool sound. I'm looking at the kitties. And then he decides, probably not in the smartest move ever given how feral cats are when you touch their babies, but he picked one of the kittens up and let me have it on my lap. And I'm just sitting there, and I put the thing down, I'm petting it, I'm just, so tiny! Just, oh my god. Cutest little baby tabby I've probably ever seen in my life, still to this day, just, oh my goodness. Did he let me keep it? No, but I mean, it still had to live outside. We had our indoor cats, so we weren't gonna, like, bring another one into the fold for that. I mean, we were lucky enough that we had a Siamese cat that, like, didn't kill the one kitten we did introduce into the fold, years earlier. Since Siamese cats, male ones in particular, are usually notoriously, like, dangerous around kittens. They will try to kill them. Ours did not. So already felt like we were treading thin ice there, in that he never messed with her. He actually kind of took her under his wing, so to speak, and almost like it was his kitten or something, even though she was just a little calico. But regardless, didn't want to rock the boat and add another one to the mix and have him like snap or something. So, but no, he was cool. He acted more like a dog than a cat anyway, which is funny that now I have a dog that acts more like a cat than a dog. But yeah, so that, just sitting in my dad's Jaguar with a kitten on my lap, playing with a bulb wrench, that is one of my earliest freaking memories. And yeah, that just, does it hold any relevance to anything? No. Other than, it's just one of my earliest memories. And no, the cat did not reject the kitten after that, mercifully. But anyways, this cat continued to come back around every single year and continued to have her babies in our yard somewhere every year. Thankfully not in his Jag. He was more careful after that year. But we had this old what is it? Not really a camper trailer, but kind of. It was some sort of a trailer anyway that like used to be my grandpa's, that he'd use on like trail rides and stuff with his horseman friends. Was like the trailer part that he'd sleep overnight in, I guess. He had it parked on our land, and I don't think it had been used in years and years and years, maybe even decades by that point, so it had, like, brush growing up around the sides of it, so it was kind of hidden to begin with, but I knew where it was, and to me, by this point, I was probably 4 or 5. I knew where it was, I knew how to get into it, I knew all the little secret hidey places in the thing, I knew where all the stuff was that he'd left in it that, to me, were just, like, ancient relics. These are so cool. Like, this little, like, old-ass teeny tiny miniature iron. Like, you would legit have to put on a fire to heat it up to use this thing. It was actually made of irons, like old school. This is not even electric. This is the epitome of the word iron. You actually have to put it on a fire to use it. I don't know, like, it was so little that, like, fit in my hands as a tiny little kid. I was like, this is so cool. And there was like a bunch of shit in there like that. And I always thought they were amazing. So I went in there. I used it as like a little playhouse because I didn't have one as a little kid. My sister ended up having one. I didn't have one. So I kind of turned that into mine. I mean, it had like drapes in the windows and shit. So it felt like a playhouse to me. I wasn't discriminating. So it had a bed in it. So I was just like, I could live in this if I wanted to. I mean, probably a good thing that I didn't. But I mean, as a playhouse, I was just like, yeah, this is mine. This is mine. So anyway, one of these years, Mama Cat had her babies in there, and more kittens. So I very carefully tiptoe in. I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're so cute. And I'm like kind of off to one side because at this point, oh, there was one story that was in between these two that I should have told first, but I'll backtrack in a minute. I forgot about it. I'm gonna do them out of sequence. Sorry, but I kind of went from that one to keep a little bit of distance between the kittens and me. At least at first. I mean, I probably should have anyway, but at 4 or 5, hadn't quite figured that part out yet. So I'm kind of on my hands and knees, looking at them like, oh my god, they're so cute. I want to pet them. I just want to pet them. And I'm just like inching over, inch, like really slowly. Like God only knows how long I was out there doing this. And I eventually made it over there. Mind you, this was probably in the middle of summer because for whatever reason, I was outside in a bathing suit. And only a bathing suit. Don't know why. Thankfully, we lived on like a really wide open stretch of land where there was no other houses around yet, just ours. So probably why I thought I could get away with it because nobody was going to see it anyway. But yeah, little friggin' bikini. But so I'm out there. This will be relevant in a minute, I swear to God. So get in there, and I go to pet at the kittens. And on this day, Mama Cat's not having my shit. Oh shit. Just like, oh my gosh. I jumped back so bad. I was like, that's never happened before with her. So I waited a few minutes. I'm just like, why do you hate me? I'm like, I like go back over. In my infinite wisdom, let's pick one up this time. She's really not having my shit this time. Right across my stomach, like all the way across. And this is why the bathing suit is like worth mentioning that this is what I had on because my stomach was bare to her to be able to do that in the first place. So now I'm screaming, and I think my mom came running out. She's like, "What the hell?" Like she couldn't even figure out where I was at first because I was in there. But I'm bleeding. I'm screaming. This cat's like going ballistic because I'm messing with her and her babies. I remember she like comes out, just like, what the fuck are you doing? Leave them alone. I'm like, I need to pet. And she's like, didn't you learn anything from the pool last year? Which, that's the story I forgot about, but I have to backtrack too. But, yeah, I actually still have some small scars on my stomach to this day from that cat scratching me that day. Then again, my skin scars notoriously easily, but I mean, generally, unless like I get a tan, they don't really show up, but if I get a tan, like those don't get color, and they're just like these weird white streaks across my stomach from where she scratched me. It's like, oh, that's cute. Didn't know that was gonna do permanent damage. Whoops. But so backpedaling a year. Alright, so you know those like late 80s, early 90s, like kiddie pools for your yard. They were like made of hard plastic. Some of them had like a little slide in it. I mean, it wasn't any taller than like maybe 3 feet tall for the slide. Like it was little. Yeah, we had one. And I loved that thing. Granted, it barely ever had any water in it. Like my mom was always convinced I would drown myself in the damn thing. She only filled it with like this much water. Story of my life. She legit did not let me take a shower alone until I was 11. So, I mean, I wish that were an exaggeration. That is actual fact. Probably explains a few things, but And I can prove that that is fact because I have a diary entry from the day that I finally got to on my own, and how much relief I felt at finally being left alone. So, anyway, so, yeah, she was always convinced I'd drown myself in there because she'd heard these horror stories of, like, babies drowning in, like, an inch of water, so she, like, didn't want to, like, leave hardly any water in the damn thing because she was so hung up on this. I mean, to be fair, she was a meth head, so she kind of had delusions about stuff, but never even came close to drowning in the thing. Just throwing it out there, but she had it in her head that this was going to be a thing. It's also why she wouldn't let me bathe on my own, because she was convinced I'd somehow drown in the shower. I don't know. But, I don't even know how you would physically do that, but she was hardcore convinced. But regardless, had this little kiddie pool in the yard. And Mama Cat had babies that year too, and oh gosh, yeah, at 3 years old, I regret this one because in hindsight, I'm mortified at it. In the moment, I, honest to God, thought I was doing a good thing. Like, let me preface this, none of the cats died or anything. Like, before you think that's where this is going. No. But, it was, again, hot summer day, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, they must be so warm. Like, they're covered in fur, and it's like 80 out. And I'm looking at them, I'm looking at the pool, and I'm like, I love the pool. I bet they'd love the pool. And again, there wasn't much water in it, but I mean, yeah, in hindsight, I see this being a terrible thing. So I'm figuring, not only do I love the pool, I'm gonna rock these kittens' world. Well, I probably didn't think it in these words, but I mean, I remember the thought process in general going through my head that I'm gonna rock their world. I'm gonna let them go down the slide, and it's gonna be so much fun for them. I remember the mental image I had in my head of these little kittens throwing their paws in the air and go wee, which I mean, kittens don't go wee, but at 3 years old, apparently in my imagination they did. Yeah, so I got a hold of the first one. This is probably why the mama cat was not having my shit the year after, by the way. So I carried it to where the pool is, and I put it on the top of the slide. And it's just sitting there looking at me like, the hell? Little and instead of throwing its paws up and going, wee, it's skivering its paws going, ah, like panicking, oh my god, and lands in the water. Which, I mean, thankfully, not being much water, its head didn't go under or anything. But I'm thinking, oh good, so I'm like scooping up water and getting it on its back thinking, it's gonna feel so much better now. And I went and got some more of the kittens, and by now, the mama cat's pissed, right? She's growling at me, she's trying to swipe at me. I'm like, no, I'm helping you. You can come in the pool too. Yeah, no, that didn't work out. So, since she decided to keep swiping at me, in my infinite wisdom, I decided not only are the kittens going in the pool, I took the mama cat. This is so bad, and I see why my mom got so pissed at this in hindsight, but in the moment, I honest to God thought I was doing a good thing. Picked up the mama cat, and there was like these plum trees that were right next to the pool, and it had like this like chicken wire mesh around the base of it to try to keep deer off the base of it, but I stuck the mama cat in there so she would hopefully stop trying to like get at me. And then I realized apparently cats who aren't declawed can climb these things, and up she's going, and I don't know, I hit panic and I grabbed the garden hose and at her to make her go back down. I was like, I think at this point I probably knew this is not the best plan. And around this point is where my mom came outside. What the fuck are you doing? Because she apparently thought I was trying to kill these cats, which hell to the no, I wasn't trying to kill anything. I'm like probably the biggest pacifist you'll meet, but no, I'm like, it's a hot day. And she's like scooping him out of the pool, and she's like trying to towel dry him off, and she brought him to the porch and grabbed a blow dryer. She's trying to blow dry him, And stupid little me, as like they're starting to walk off after being blow dried, what do? Put them back in the pool. Guess who got her ass beat that day? Like really badly. Like that was probably one of the worst ass beatings I ever got from my mom was that day, and it still haunts me to this day. Because she thought that this is clearly a sign that I'm a psychopath because I'm apparently trying to kill kittens. And I was like, I'm not trying to kill them. I'm trying to help them. It's a hot day. Because I was too young to explain that cats' fur coats aren't making them hot on a hot day. They're insulating them from the heat. I'm actually doing them a disservice by getting them wet and making the fur slick down. But I mean, again, at 3, there's no rationalizing with a toddler at that age on any level other than that's bad. Don't do that ever again. I'll kill you. But well, maybe you shouldn't say the I'll kill you part, but she did. So you know, just saying. Again, she was my pet. But anyway, yeah, we're just gonna gloss over that. But so that was not the end of the cat stories. But I noticed after not the pool year, but the year after where Mama Cat attacked me, I think it was after that she didn't come around to have her babies anymore after that. I think she found somewhere else to have them after that year. Made me sad. But it wasn't the last of the feral cats we had come around. No. Because we had barn cats that would kind of just manifest out of nowhere and suddenly be barn cats when they'd like find their way in there and be like, oh my god, I just found a mansion. I'm gonna live in here, basically, right? So, I don't even know if we ever gave them names or not, but they were always in there, which is good because it had a major rodent problem, no matter what we did. That's kind of one of the lesser known things about barns, is that mice and rats are gonna be a thing. Where there is hay and there is grain, there is going to be rats and mice, and they're gross. Just I may be an animal person, but I'm not a rodent person. Just no. So maybe that's part of why I like cats, because they go after rodents. I don't know. Like even getting up to something like as big as a bunny, like my brain's still going, oh, that's a little close to a rodent. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I mean, I don't care if someone else has one as a pet, but I personally, no, I would not want one. Just they're cute, but I wouldn't want to like touch one. Okay, so anyway, I know I would probably like the weirdest little kid, like the only little girl who never wanted a bunny as a pet. I was like, no, it's too close to like a hamster or something, and those are too close to mice, and just no, I'm good. So anyway, we had these barn cats that I don't think ever even got names, but I remember getting so nervous of what happens if one of the horses steps on them? What if they kick them? I don't think this ever happened, but even in my little child brain, my anxiety was strong even back then, and would project and would come up with these what if scenarios even that young of, oh my god, what if the horses kill the cats? And how like this existential crisis of, I love cats, but I love horses. I don't know who to side with. Yeah, that. My grandma had like an outdoor cat in her yard that, kind of like the barn cats, it just kind of showed up one day. Not really an official adoption per se, but she'd always put food out for him, and he came around every day, so she eventually started to consider him to be her kitty. And this cat, I'm including this story because my grandma only lived like 2 houses away from me, so I spent like the bulk of my childhood at her house. But she named him Tobin, which at that point I had never ever heard that name anywhere before. I have since heard it other places, and I'm like, whoa, my grandma's cat was named that. That is the only place I'd ever heard that before. That's so weird, and I feel like I've only ever heard it other places since she died, so I can't even tell her about it, which really sucks, because I feel like she'd get a kick out of that, and probably laugh at me like, I told you it was a name, but but yeah, she had like this little black cat out there. It was like super fluffy. I don't know what kind it was. I mean, it might have been part Persian for how long its fur was, which is really unfortunate if that was an outdoor cat, because Persians should not be outdoor cats. But it was like this all black kitty. I think he had like little tufts of dark gray right up on his chest. But that was like the only color on him, and anywhere other than a teeny white spot on his nose. That was it. Other than that, all black. And he'd like come up to her back door and he'd just chill out there on her back porch. I think he let me pet him a few times, but he, being a feral cat, you know, they're not too wild about humans touching them. He'd let my grandma pet him, and that's, I think, what infuriated me so much was she can pet him, why can't I pet him? But I was used to, you know, domesticated cats that are used to humans and like humans petting them. But it just frustrated me that this one, for the most part, did not want any part of me. And I was like, I just want to pet him. I just want to pet him real bad. But the few times that I got to, I felt really, really victorious for it. But I only mentioned Tobin because I have to mention the time my grandma gave him a haircut. Do you guys remember the story of how I gave Teddy Ruxpin a haircut? And how I told you he ended up looking after that? This cat kind of ended up looking like that. I don't remember if Teddy Ruxpin happened before or after this, but I feel like it was around the same age, so the cat may have happened first, and I may have been inspired. Yeah. She said he had, like, burrs in his fur that had, like, matted up, and all she could do to try and help him was to, like, cut up below the mats so it could, like, try to grow back in normally. But in the process, he looked like he had mange for a while because there was just, like, these almost bald patches, like, oh, you poor kitty, you poor baby. And to this day, I see a picture of a cat with janky fur like that, I'm just like, oh, look, it looks like Tobin. I feel really bad, because, I mean, it's not like my grandma was inept at, like, cutting animals' fur. She'd had animals her entire life, just, especially if they're outdoor animals, shit's gonna happen, and a lot of times there's only limited options of what you can do to help them in these situations. She did the best she could, so I mean, not a bad thing, just unfortunate looking until it grew back in. But yeah, that. So there were other outdoor kitties, both at her house and at ours. But I think there is one that I actually gave a name to, and it's just very unfortunate that it was a cat of this caliber, yet it was an outdoor cat. It was a Maine Coon. That should never be an outdoor cat. I think somebody abandoned it down the street, and it was just kind of cruising around trying to find anywhere it could get food. I named him Casey, after Casey and the Sunshine Band, because even at, like, 14, I was a nerd, so yeah, that. So there's this gorgeous little Maine Coon, and my dad wouldn't let me bring him into our house. My grandma wouldn't let me bring him into her house either, but she agreed that she'd let me put food and water out for him on her front porch, and if I wanted to, like, hang out on her front porch and wait for the cat, I totally could. So I did. And he started coming around every single day, and this cat actually let me pet him, so I really liked him. Everything was great! Until one day when I'm out there waiting for him, and my grandpa comes back up from the barn. And he just had this look on his face that looked very disturbed, and I think I just instinctively knew it had something to do with the cat. I hadn't even mentioned the cat that day, but I sensed it. I just knew. He's like, I've got some bad news. I think a coyote got your cat. I was like, might have been another cat, maybe? Maybe it wasn't him? He's like, I found pieces of the cat. I was like, oh. Okay. And that was I decided as of that moment I would never have an outdoor cat again, because coyotes are just a constant in this area. There is no avoiding them. It's why Talia's come on, tongue, work. Explicitly indoor dog. Because, yeah, between hawks, raccoons, foxes, coyotes, mountain lions, yeah, you do not let a small pet be an outdoor pet around here unless you want them to be critter chow. So, Yeah, she's an indoor dog. So I decided Casey would be the last outdoor pet I would ever have, and any of the other feral animals that came around here, I just wouldn't let myself get attached to. Easier said than done. And I think it was a couple birthdays after that my grandma did decide to let me have a cat. We'd go adopt and would just live in her house. To try and make up for Casey, because she felt really bad that happened. But yeah, it's easy to say that there wouldn't be more cats outside that I'd get attached to, because we know how I am. If I so much as see a cat, I'm just like, oh, I just want to pet it. Can I have it? I just want the kitty. I just want the kitty. So, our neighbors down the street had this little orange cat. Looked just like the one from Milo and Otis. And I imagine that movie helped inspire his name, because she named him Dudley. Yeah, after that Dudley, even. My Dudley. Because Dudley Moore narrated Milo and Otis, so I'm just like, I see what you did there. And okay, it's like 5 in the morning, I should be quieter, but anyways. Yeah, it was great. That's why we knew his name, was because we knew the lady who owned him. Then she moved. She didn't take Dudley. She left him to fend for himself in this area. I desperately wanted to bring this cat inside and just have him. My dad wouldn't let me. This was at least living in this house, so this is like within the past 10 years. So just to give point of reference, we have now moved up to relatively recent times. Because I think we moved in 9 years ago into this house, so yeah, it has to have been sometime in that time stretch. But let me take a sip of coffee. So anyway, wouldn't let me bring the cat in, but I felt very strongly about wanting to look out for Dudley. I mean, especially because orange cats are my favorite. And then he was named after Dudley Moore. I have to look out for this cat. Like, the universe is telling me I have to be the protector of this cat. But there's only so much I could do, given I wasn't allowed to bring him inside. So I left food out for him and things. I tried to, like, lure him over with treats so I could maybe pet him and stuff, which usually resulted in my getting frustrated and just leaving it on the ground and stepping away and letting him get it. But regardless, he hung around for a lot of years. I don't know if he just randomly died one day. I don't know if an animal got him. We never, like, found him anywhere. Maybe someone else took him in. Maybe he's still alive and well to this day. I don't know. Because one day we didn't see him anymore, but for years, we saw him out there. And eventually, suddenly, there was this little black cat, too, that would hang around him, like this sleek, little, slender cat. Looked like it had to be somebody's pet. It was so well groomed. And these two were just like, they were like buddy, and it was the cutest thing. And I was like, if the orange one's name is Dudley, I know what I must name the black one. That black one is officially named Liza, at least in my heart. That is Liza. Okay, we've got Dudley and Liza now. This is a thing. I don't care if it's got an owner, I'm naming it Liza. So, Dudley and Liza had kittens. I felt obligated to name those kittens. And I'm still pissed I didn't get to keep any of those kittens because my dad. But yeah, I named one Luna after Dudley's character in Bedazzled was turned into a nun, Sister Luna, so one of them was named Luna. I named one of them Lily, after the name Liza wanted to use for a daughter. I named one of them Stanley, which Dudley reused the name Stanley in a bunch of movies, and he also named one of his cats in real life Stanley. So, named one of them Stanley. I named one of them Arthur. And I named one of them Sally, after Sally Bowles in Cabaret, and there was only 5 of them, so it made my job easy. Oh god, I don't know what ended up happening to any of them, and that unfortunately makes me feel like either an animal got them, the elements got them, or animal control got them. But one day the kittens all disappeared, but we were still seeing Dudley, and I was still seeing Liza, so But Dudley was definitely getting up there in years, so I could believe that he may have even just gotten old and died, but up until fairly recently, the Liza cat was still coming around here. Fast forward to about a month or two ago, and seeing a coyote with Liza in its mouth. Saying that sentence aloud feels weird. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have named her after a celebrity. This is weird to even say that out loud, but yeah, had Kitty by the neck in its mouth, and I'm almost positive it was that one. I mean, there's a couple other black cats that come around this area too. It could have been one of them. I hope it was one of them. But I noticed I haven't seen Liza around since that day, so I have this bad sinking feeling that it got her, so I'm like, damn it. But this is why I shouldn't name animals after people like that, because I get way too emotionally invested in this shit, what I do, but maybe revisit all the pets that I have named Ringo over the years that all met untimely fates. All the fishes named Ringo, the bird named Ringo, the puppy named Ringo that I wasn't allowed to keep, like, those, you know, just saying. But, yeah, that pretty much sums up the outdoor kitty stories. There is one more cat more recently that has started coming around outside, and my heart is very hesitant to get attached to it, because I know what always happens to these outdoor cats every damn time. And yet, I can't help but let myself care. I can't help but let myself get excited every damn time I see it. I just want to care for it. I want to pet it. I don't think it'll ever let me, but it doesn't stop me from wanting to. So for as much as I say, no, I'm not going to get attached to this one, no. Yeah, we all know. I basically already have. Have I named it yet? No. It's only a matter of time. But it looks like it's like a little tuxedo cat, so it looks like it's got a tuxedo on, and it's got like this stripe across its face, so it looks like it has a mask. So I'm like, I'm naming it after Sailor Moon. It's Tuxedo Mask. That is that cat. So his unofficial name right now, if it's a he, I haven't even gotten close enough to find out if it's a he or she. I'm just calling it a he because of the name I'm going with, but as far as I'm concerned right now, that cat's name is Tuxedo Mask, so just saying. But yeah, I think that sums up all my outdoor kitty cat stories. I said I would tell them like 2 years ago, and then never got around to filming this, and now I finally did. So yeah. Anyway, this was long and rambly, and I doubt anybody sat through the whole thing. If you did, yay, applause. Did it have a point? No. But other than, I just felt like talking about kitties. So, because I am mentally a 10-year-old. But anyways, yeah. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you're not already, click subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Do you ever have any outdoor kitties? Do you live in an area where outdoor cats are a better idea than they are here, basically out in the country? Let me know down below, as well as anything else you feel like leaving me. Make sure you follow my social media accounts, are all linked down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and would like to help support it, the donation link as always is in the description. So anyway, guys, till next time.